I'm standing here next to what might look like just another piece of retired military hardware. But to the men and women who flew it, this machine was more than metal, wires, and jet fuel. It was a partner, an extension of their own will, a machine that danced on the edge of what's possible. There's a difference between a tool that simply gets a job done and one that feels right. It's a connection, a trust between human and machine forged at Mach 2, thousands of feet in the air, where the stakes couldn't be higher. Today, we're counting down 5 legendary fighter jets that pilots absolutely love to fly. These aren't just the most effective or the most famous, although many are both. These are the aircraft that earned a specific kind of reverence from their pilots, for their handling, their power, or that intangible quality that made them a joy to command. We're looking at the machines that pilots would talk about with a certain glint in their eye, long after they'd hung up their flight suits for the last time. From Cold War icons to modern marvels, these jets earned a special place in aviation history, not just for their combat records, but for the sheer experience of being in the cockpit. We'll explore what made them so special, from revolutionary design features to the raw, visceral feeling of their performance. So, strap in, because we're about to take a look at the fighter jets that weren't just flown, they were adored. Our journey begins in the skies over Korea, a place that became the crucible for the world's first large-scale jet-on-jet combat. In one corner, you had the Soviet-built MiG-29, a fast, high-climbing interceptor that gave Western forces a nasty shock. In the other, you had the North American F-86 Sabre. On paper, the MiG had some performance advantages, particularly in climb rate and service ceiling, but the Sabre had an ace up its sleeve, something that statistics can't quite capture. It was, by all accounts, an absolute dream to fly. It was a pilot's airplane through and through. Pilots who transitioned to the Sabre spoke of it in glowing terms. They called it the Cadillac of the skies. Its hydraulically boosted controls were light and responsive, giving it an agility that the MiG-29, with its older, purely mechanical controls, simply couldn't match at high speeds. This meant that while a MiG might be able to outclimb a Sabre in a turning dogfight, the true test of a pilot's skill, the Sabre pilot had a distinct advantage. The jet felt intuitive, honest, and forgiving. It created a level of confidence that allowed pilots to push the envelope, knowing the aircraft would respond crisply and predictably to their every command. This superb handling was the great equalizer. Sabre pilots developed tactics that played to their aircraft's strengths, luring MiGs into engagements where agility mattered more than raw power. The result was a legendary kill ratio in favor of the F-86. It wasn't just about the technology, it was about how that technology empowered the pilot. The Sabre cemented a fundamental truth of aerial combat. The best aircraft isn't always the one with the best numbers, but the one that forms the most seamless partnership with the person in the cockpit. The F-86 was that partner. If the F-86 Sabre was a nimble sports car, our next entry is pure American muscle. This is the McDonnell Douglas F-4 Phantom II, an aircraft that was, to put it mildly, an absolute beast. It was big, it was loud, it carried a massive payload, and it was powered by 2 J-79 engines that produced a signature trail of thick, black smoke. The Phantom was a testament to the engineering philosophy that if you strap powerful enough engines to anything, even something with the aerodynamics of a brick, it will fly, and fly fast. And boy, did the Phantom fly. Pilots had a complicated but ultimately affectionate relationship with the F-4. It wasn't a delicate dogfighter like the Sabre. It was a multi-role monster, designed as a fleet defense interceptor for the Navy, but adapted by the Air Force, Marines, and numerous allied nations for everything from ground attack to reconnaissance. Pilots called it Double Ugly or the Rhino, but they said it with respect. Flying the Phantom was a workout. It was a heavy, powerful jet that demanded a firm hand. But that power was intoxicating. The feeling of the afterburners kicking in was famously described as a freight train up the back. What pilots truly admired was its sheer toughness and versatility. The Phantom could take an incredible amount of punishment and still bring its crew home. Anecdotes abound of F-4s returning to base, riddled with holes, sometimes missing entire chunks of a wing or tail. It wasn't just a machine, it was a guardian. It proved that an aircraft didn't need to be graceful to be loved. The love for the Phantom was earned through raw power, rugged reliability, and the undeniable confidence it gave its pilots. It was the proof that there's no problem that can't be solved by the application of overwhelming thrust. There are few aircraft as instantly recognizable or as charismatic as this one, the Grumman F-14 Tomcat. Even if you know nothing about military aviation, you know the Tomcat. Thanks to its starring role in the 1986 film Top Gun, it became a global cultural icon. Really, the very definition of a cool fighter jet. But long before Hollywood got its hands on it, the F-14 had already won the hearts of the naval aviators who flew it. Its most defining feature, of course, was its variable sweep wings, a piece of incredible engineering. These swing wings were the Tomcat's genius. Controlled automatically by a central air data computer, they could sweep forward for low-speed handling during tricky carrier landings and then sweep back to form a sleek delta wing for supersonic interception. This gave the F-14 a versatility that was unmatched in its era. It could be a stable, docile aircraft one moment and a high-speed, high-G dogfighter the next. Pilots felt like they were flying two different aircraft in one. It was complex, it was powerful, and in the hands of a skilled crew, it was utterly dominant. But the love for the Tomcat went beyond its performance. It was a two-seat aircraft, requiring a unique synergy between the pilot in the front and the radar intercept officer in the back. This created a powerful sense of teamwork and camaraderie. Furthermore, the F-14 was a Grumman jet, and Grumman had a reputation for building tough, reliable carrier aircraft, a legacy pilots called Grumman Iron Works. The Tomcat was the pinnacle of that legacy. It was an ambitious, powerful, and undeniably cool machine that demanded the best from its crews and in return gave them an unforgettable ride. After the heavy, complex, and expensive fighters of the Vietnam era, like the F-4 Phantom, a group of influential thinkers within the U.S. Air Force known as the Fighter Mafia argued for a return to basics. They wanted a simple, lightweight, highly maneuverable day fighter. The result of that philosophy was this: the General Dynamics F-16 Fighting Falcon, or, as it's universally known to its pilots, the Viper. And it was quite simply a revolution. The F-16 was designed from the ground up to be a pure pilot's machine. The key to the Viper's magic was its revolutionary design. It was one of the first production aircraft to feature a fly-by-wire system. This meant there was no direct mechanical linkage between the pilot's controls and the control surfaces. Instead, the pilot's inputs went to a computer, which then translated them into the optimal flight control movements. This allowed for a level of carefree handling previously unimaginable. The computer wouldn't let the pilot stall the aircraft or pull it apart, enabling them to yank and bank with total confidence, focusing solely on the fight. Everything about the cockpit was designed for the pilot. The seat was reclined at 30 degrees to help with G-force tolerance. The control stick was on the side, not in the center, for better comfort and control during high-G maneuvers. And the bubble canopy offered unparalleled panoramic visibility. Pilots who flew the F-16 raved about it. They described it as feeling like they had strapped the jet to their back. It was nimble, responsive, and incredibly powerful. The F-16 wasn't just a tool, it was an extension of the pilot's body, a machine that truly connected with the human flying it. We now arrive at the cutting edge, the absolute pinnacle of air dominance technology. This is the Lockheed Martin F-22 Raptor. It is the world's first operational fifth-generation fighter, and it represents a leap in capability so significant that it places it in a category all by itself. The Raptor combines stealth, supercruise, the ability to fly at supersonic speeds without using afterburners, and extreme maneuverability. For the pilots lucky enough to fly it, the experience is nothing short of otherworldly. It's less like flying an aircraft and more like commanding a spaceship. The true marvel of the Raptor is how it fuses all its advanced capabilities together. Its stealth makes it virtually invisible to enemy radar, allowing it to engage foes before they are even aware it is there. Its powerful engines and advanced aerodynamics, including thrust vectoring nozzles, give it super maneuverability, allowing it to perform post-stall maneuvers that would be impossible for other fighters. Pilots can point the nose of the aircraft in one direction while the jet continues to travel in another, a capability that completely rewrites the rules of a close-in dogfight. Pilot testimonials about the F-22 are filled with a sense of awe. They speak of its situational awareness, where advanced sensors and data fusion present a clear, godlike view of the entire battle space. They describe exercises where a handful of Raptors dominate dozens of older, fourth-generation fighters without ever being seriously threatened. The feeling is one of complete and utter invincibility. Flying the F-22 is to know that you are at the controls of the most dominant fighter aircraft ever created. It's a level of power and control that pilots of previous generations could only dream of. From the pure, honest handling of the F-86 Sabre to the untouchable technological dominance of the F-22 Raptor, these 5 aircraft represent more than just milestones in engineering. They represent a bond. In the high-stakes, high-G world of aerial combat, a pilot's trust in their machine is absolute. These jets earned that trust not just by being effective, but by being responsive, powerful, and in some intangible way, a joy to fly. They became legends whispered in ready rooms and celebrated at reunions. These jets didn't just dominate the skies, they won the hearts of the pilots who flew them. They are a reminder that even in an age of incredible technology, the human element remains the most critical component. The best designs are the ones that empower the pilot, that feel less like a machine and more like a partner in a deadly high-altitude dance. The legacy of these aircraft is written not only in history books, but in the memories of those who sat in the cockpit, pushed the throttle forward, and pointed the nose towards the sky. So, the question is, if you could take the controls of any one of these incredible machines, which would it be? Are you drawn to the classic dogfighting agility of the Sabre, the iconic cool of the Tomcat, or the futuristic power of the Raptor? Each one offers a unique experience, a different chapter in the story of aviation. Which legendary jet would you want to fly? Let us know in the comments. It's always fascinating to see which ones capture the imagination. Thanks for watching.
Stay informed with the latest in aerospace, tech, and AI, only on Tech Trends. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel Tech Trends for more cutting-edge updates. Hit the bell icon